was not, apparently. Locked in, focused on the pitcher with 8 seconds left on the pitch clock. And now 1-2. Most of the pitcher, a swing and a miss, will end the at bat. And a clean 1-2.
Yeah, it should be a. You hope it's a little bit of a bounce back. Throws hard.
So you think the bullpen?
The guys don't have as much power, can spin it, and it's just it's a good look. You got to make that down there.
And there's a strikeout on cue, 1 away.
2 runs after the 7th inning. You're going into the 7th inning. You're trying to figure out how you're going to claw across 2 runs, do some damage.
Hot ground ball. Fielded by Schabel. He's going to give us 5 or 6, maybe 7. And then we turn it over to Lopez, Duran, Thielbar, whatever the mix.
Day or sometimes just pitch too many days in a row and not available. And if you don't have starters every once in a while, and a lot of times trying to get outs in the 5th and the 6th inning where you can really 3, and then you kind of punt from there on out, and you're trying to save your bullpen for the next day. So talk about winning series all the time.
Fly right center field, and that'll flop in there for a save or whomever. They weren't overused at all, and because of that, were more effective.
You're going to see in today's game, you're not going to. It's just not the way it's built, and there's just too much. Garrett Cole, some of those guys that can do it.
Play is at first base. And a belt high strike. Still plenty of velocity. That one clocked it. One of the things that umpires are instructed to do now, too, and I don't know that Tonkin will. Well, he doesn't need to stop now because there's no one on base, but pitcher comes off. There will be more random checks because what they found out was toward the end of last year.
Yeah, it'll be
How
interesting.
Or why, I'll leave that up to you.
Well, the pace of game and
through the open side of the infield, a base hit.
Nice swing right there.
Now, we saw Tonkin flex his leg a couple of times. And if he follows that knee flex with a stop, apparently that will not be called a. Yeah, and we just had a violation. 20 seconds, and Tonkin took a little bit. And they'll get the force at second. Be part of the game. At least that's the hope. Bull has been in the box throughout, swung on and missed.
Tonkin, a hot day. He's trying to keep.
Now the umpires, the home plate umpires, have enough to go. When it gets down to 0, it's like your phone vibrating. Big swing and a foul. Caught by the catcher. 2 down.
Pitchers in spring training are really the guys who need or get the most out of it.
And now strike 2.
Just always adjustment, but
just off the outside edge. 1-2. Down and away. 2-2. Foul back to the screen. Play their 4th game at home at CHS Field. Jeffers strikes out.
Just right of center was the furthest ball I had seen hit. That's the only one that comes to my mind.
Adrianza chops it foul.
Yeah, I said the guys who don't throw 98 can spin it down there.
Just outside. 2-2.
He wanted that one.
Oh, I beg your pardon. He got it. Blake Baldwin taking ball 1, hitting in what was Darno's spot. Big swing and a miss. The schedule is different where every team will play every other team. And every team will.
Stadium in the 19 years or whatever of interleague, or however many years it was, the Giants had not played there yet.
Hadn't played at Target Field till.
So I think that's good for the game of baseball.
If you live in every other season. Swing and a miss, and Jax gets another strikeout, this time swinging. Cody Milligan hitting in what was Marcelo Zuna's spot.
Instead of facing 6 teams from the National League, 5 in the division, then is it going to affect the offense at all? And that's the challenge of it if they ever go to it where a fully balanced league.
Well, that would finish off the complete blurring. That's called third strike, and Jax picks up 3 strikeouts along the way of a up and in ball 1. Kelly lifted to left, and hitters down here feel like you did here.
There's always an excuse available to you if you want to use it.
Okay.
That's the way I looked at it.
Okay.
Can't use it as an excuse. Yeah, the ball's not going to carry as much when it's cold, and your hands aren't going to feel as good, but you got a break and you got time in between. It's, like I said, it's a mental. It was always a mental battle for me.
I'm not sure Bud Grant could have said it any better. That was kind of Bud's approach.
It could be an advantage for you.
Chopper to first for out number 2. Breaking ball on the outside edge, a strike. Mentioned that the Twins are going to leave here on Tuesday. Teams will leave their camp to allow his players to adjust to whatever the field conditions, weather conditions might be.
Last day or before the last day of camp.
Driven to the gap, right center field. Sharp sink.
You've got your team together.
It's another area where it's nice to have a more normal.
And no restrictions. You're together. You're doing drills together. You're running through the
upstairs, the ball.
So there's something to it. You know, the first baseman need to know which guys can get over, which guys are slow. So I think it's important to all know all that stuff, and you go through it in camp, and then you just little refreshers right before the year starts.
Over the screen and out of play. I don't know. They've been a factor. Chopper to short, how many? 1. And they get the double
shifts. So
with the right, yeah.
No more shifts, so guys are in their traditional spots, and double plays will be.
The left field corner. And Bina.
Extra games I've played just because the game's 3.5 hours instead of 2.5 hours. But if you think on it over the course of a season, what you did the math the other
162 divided by 16, it's 67 hours that we would save. Half hours. Strike 1 on the outside edge. And more importantly,
21 hits total so far, 12 runs scored. Right. It's not like it's, hasn't